lots to do, lots to prep for.
I guess, yeah.
It's always that like awkward silence when we know that a stream is starting.
Looks like it started.
Oh yeah, it's been up for a little bit.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Perfecto. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
How's it going? Welcome back to Three Galaxies.
Right.
My second favorite actual Let's Play. So, hi, everyone. Welcome back. Any questions of the GM before we jump right into the session? Whoa. What? Is that my side? There's a lot of feedback.
Someone's mic is acting up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Probably mine. Better?
I
Yes.
think so.
So far,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, any questions of the GM before we jump right into this?
Nope.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Good. So, last week when we left, you guys had made it back to Zebron through some expert flying. Actually, managed to get out of quite a challenging fight by rolling ones and twos, which I still think back at and think that was just amazing. But you made it back to Zebron. You contacted Admiral Hagen, in which you had a bit of a frustrating conversation where he wasn't really willing to step up to the plate and help you, had some reservations there. He did start a kind of a GoFundMe, which actually made quite a decent amount of money playing to Hart's fame. And after being saved, after Xavier saved his life, potentially, from choking on pie, he did finally relent and send you over to two Corsairs that were willing to help you out in Charlotte and One Souk. And you also were able to get Princess Doodad and the cyber that you had taken from the land of the cyber. Sorry, I don't have their names pulled up at the moment, but to the research scientists to see if they could develop a cure, in which they responded quite hopefully, saying that the disease was caused by a lack of genetic diversity. And since they had a fresh quote unquote sample in Princess Doodad, they should be able to whip up a cure. And they think that they can do it in about 2 weeks. Not obviously, when it comes to science, nothing is 100%, but they are fairly confident in their ability to do so. Which means that at the very least, you guys have 2 weeks to prepare for your trip back. At this current point in time, while we're playing a little fast and loose with when this money comes in, I did let you guys know that the GoFundMe is going to give you about 60 million clicks to spend. However, there is a disclaimer. Oh, and by the way, Xavier, just so you know, the official holder of this GoFundMe is Hart's manager. So you are like legally the one that is allowed to withdraw and use the funds.
This delights me to no end.
And there is a legal disclaimer that this money needs to be used in some way, shape, or form towards the rescue of Hart from the terrorist, as it was a very vague concept.
Yeah, it is a vague concept, and they just have the wrong manager, because you know how a lot of people like to fidget with the government and write things off as a business expense.
Mm-hmm.
Multiply that by 10 with Xavier, so this is gonna be fun.
As long as
this silver-tongued guy can rationalize almost anything, so we can get whatever we want.
I understand. So you have about 60 million there to play around with. And That was about it. There was discussion about Ryle wanting to know if it would be possible to build him some form of armor and perhaps some form of riding mechanism for people so that last time you rode Ryle, the only reason why you weren't flying off his smooth candy-like back was because of Elisa's spell. So something that would keep you guys from doing such a thing. But other than that, oh, and there was talk about possibly using some of the information you got from the mining corporation to try and blackmail perhaps an influential senator. Other than that, I really am not sure what else the group has in store. So I'm really going to throw this to you guys. You have at least 2 weeks. What do you guys want to do?
Ooh. Well, there's plenty of things that we can do as a group. Do you mean like individually, or do you mean like what's the
yeah, I
step?
think a better way to go about it is as a group, figure out a next step, figure out what basically you want to prepare for, either by using these funds or other methods. What do you want to get done in general? Yeah, what's the next step for the group?
Okay, so I propose at least discussing what we're going to do with the quote-unquote blackmail material that we have, so we can actually have a more concrete funds that we can work with.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is the number without blackmail.
So yeah, that is an information, right? So let's get into a little bit of specifics. What kind of information do we have, and who is it against?
Tell you what, I will save you guys some time because you would have to go talk to Finn Mookie about this, but there's no reason to really waste a lot of your time on that. So we'll say that you guys, over the course of the 2 weeks, you went to Finn Mookie, and here's what she was able to tell you. Now that she's had more time to dig into the data, there are 3 potential pieces of information and people that you could target, so to speak. Okay. There is one of these people is actually very familiar to you, Senator Teal, which is actually the senator whose life you...
Yeah, didn't we save their life?
You did indeed. There is blackmail against her. The mining corporation was holding against her. Basically, her younger brother at a certain point in time was running with a criminal syndicate on an off-world, and she actually... early in her political career, probably about 15 years ago, secretly hired mercenaries to go in and save him when he got in really deep with the gang and wanted to get out. She used her own funds to do it, but still, for a person in a political position of power to secretly hire mercenaries to go to war with a bad gang is not a good thing. And if that were to get out in the public, it could be detrimental to her career, because then there'll be questions of, is she in someone's pocket? Does she do things behind people's back? Is she really still working with the mafia? That kind of thing.
Wasn't she also like being all uppity about criminals being a part of the Corsairs?
Yes, she was. And the mining corporation somehow got a hold of this information and had been blackmailing her to the sum of 100,000 clicks per year.
Yeah.
To keep it quiet.
Interesting. Okay.
So
there's another. Teal.
There's another piece of blackmail from Senator Boren. Most of these blackmails that are going to be of interest to you are all senators on the Grand Council. One of them is a senator for the next step down, not the Grand Council, but a district council. So still a high position, but not as high as Senator Teal or Boren. Boren's blackmail is fairly simple. Boren is into illicit drugs, and on Zebron, which prides itself for not partaking in illegal activities, this is a very, very bad thing. D&M Mining Corporation has been blackmailing him to cover up his illicit activities, and apparently has also been helping him cover up his illicit activities in return, not for money, but for favors. And Senator Boren has been a huge lobbyist for the D&M Mining Corporation. And last but not least, there is a Senator Grakkus, not on the Grand Council, but on, or like I said, a district council underneath them. Senator Grakkus is a bit of an interesting situation. All she has is a photo of a young woman. There is no name, there is no evidence, there's nothing that she can do that traces this young woman back to anything other than, sorry, it's a photo of a young woman and Senator Grakkus in the same picture. She does not know why this is important, but apparently it was important enough that D&M Mining Corporation was using it to blackmail him to the tune of about 300,000 clicks a year. And they'd been doing it for about 10 years.
Okay, interesting. So now that we know who it's against and what it is, Xavier's going to suggest this. There's a concept called social credit. We could just take over the blackmail scheme, right? And hang this over all the 3 senators' heads and force them to do what we want. Force them to vote the way that we want or get money for them, etc., etc., etc. However, people being blackmailed soon resent their blackmailers and will do whatever they can to stop that from happening. My suggestion is this. We earn social credit with all 3 of them by freeing them. We say that we have liquidized this minor corporation. We have taken over this blackmail, and it has stopped thanks to us. And hopefully, if they're grateful, they just remember that we are their friends, and hopefully this is earn some trust. Now, the benefit of this is that we're heading into a situation with a lot of unknowns, and one of the biggest unknowns, Xavier says, isn't just about headquarters and forces and guns, but it's also about politics. We don't know the political fallout. We're assuming the other cyber leaders of the other quadrants of their homeworld aren't like Cyber 4, but they might be. There might be some serious political fallout after we rescue Cyber 6 and Heart. There might be some problems, some debates, some controversies within the council. And wouldn't it be much better to have 3 counselors as trusted friends rather than 3 council members who resent us for blackmailing them and will do whatever they can to undermine us? That's my suggestion.
Here's one thing is I don't think we ever actually deleted the information from the mining company. I think I just copied the files. So they probably still have the files.
No,
I was not aware of this.
No. You'll be happy to know that the such information, the information that you took from that computer, could not be copied. It could only be taken. That
sweet.
was one of the safety features of the D&M Mining Corporation. They specifically made it impossible to have copies, which is why you have to go to Finn Mookie to get this stuff. You can't make copies of it. It's too
okay.
encrypted.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my pitch.
I think that
Lucas
works with
pops in.
yeah.
That is pretty good. Though I don't know about all this politic things. If the politics just say we don't want you saving celebrities from terrorists, I'm not quite sure if they're going to stay in office for too long. I'm not. This is a voting thing, right? He looks over to everyone. Vote.
I'm
Vote for
assuming so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're not going to look good if they do that. So my suggestion is we will do a trade. We will remove the blackmailing. If they donate to this with their personal fund, but also make it public. So, with this, if we get a few flames underneath the people's feet of higher ups going like, we personally invest in this and we hear you as the public and whatnot, they will probably have this as more of like a bolster to their political clout. And then other politicians will join in. And since all these big names are joining in, probably more and more people will also do that.
Xavier's going to pause for a moment. He's going to say, this might be the first time you guys ever hear me say this, and it might be the last, so treasure this right now. But maybe we shouldn't ask them for money. maybe we shouldn't ask for a trade, because then, I mean, technically blackmail is a trade too. Not in a physical sense, but more of a you give me something and I don't let something out. This a trade is you give me something and I give you something back. A gift of a grateful person might be more effective. They might, and if we give them a gift, this gift of this information back, and they say, "Oh, how can we possibly thank you?" Maybe we could go with Lucas's plan and say, "Oh, don't thank us. We're very worried about our dear friend. Do you know about our GoFundMe page?" And then let the rest go into natural place. Then more likely they'll donate, and then their friends will donate, and we'll get higher up. But if we go to them and say, "We want to offer you a trade. We're going to give you this blackmail information, and you have to donate your personal funds to our GoFundMe." What if they say, "I don't like that trade"?
Well,
What if they say, "I don't want to do that"?
well, I don't know. I mean, you can give them the option of pay as much as they want. They just have to make it public.
Okay, we're on a
So
very similar wavelength. I'm just on in a more generous spirit, I suppose. Which is once again, Lucas, I can't believe between the two people pitching this, you're pitching your idea and I'm pitching mine. But so such is life.
Lucas nods and he goes, "Now I can be Moneybags."
Kind of. Except Xavier gives a smile, although I still have all the codes to the account, so I'm gonna be Mr. Moneybags. No, I'm not saying we shouldn't do everything we can to get as many funds as we can, but there are a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen different ways in which we can do so. When it comes to high up politicos, like I said, the concept of social credit could be much more valuable than literal clicks.
Lucas goes, "Yeah, I was trying to have it as soft as a ball as we can with blackmail, but man, you topped me. Yeah."
Yeah. Xavier gives a bit of a grin. I've been out of your company for a little while, but glad to see I'm easing back on in. If anyone has any other idea, I'm all for it for sure. But I do think, since we're heading into so many unknowns, and if there's one thing our group is not really strong with, it's political maneuvering. So why not just have some political friends?
at least you already have
Plus,
a
we have
benefit
them
with
fair
one of them.
already.
As Lucas sits back, I don't want to deal with that. Now that you say that, absolutely, I'm fully 100% behind you. F my idea.
Oh, okay. All right.
If I have to work to do some sort of law look, I
Yeah,
don't
I
want to
know.
do that.
Yeah, me neither. It's boring.
How
So,
is
go ahead.
how is Finn reacting to the fact we're kind of taking away something that could be profitable to her?
Well, first of all, it depends. How much are you telling Finn on what's going on?
Oh my god, I really hope we weren't having this conversation right in front
No,
of
no.
Finn.
No.
I have to imagine you guys like Finn's just standing there like, what? No.
Really?
I think she's earned a modicum of your trust by now, but maybe not quite that much. I understand. How much would you tell Finn about why you need the information?
How much do we need to tell her, really? Just, we will say, we could tell her the truth in a sense, mostly truth. There'll be some lies of omission, but we're going to just say, we're in a tough situation with this weird cybers. We need this information to loosen things up on a political front, which is true. We do need that to loosen things up on a political front. And we would be very grateful if she gave it to us.
She would actually, maybe it'd be best to roleplay this. She would sit there and she would say, our relationship so far has been highly advantageous and mutual, I would think. I have no
And
desire.
adventurous.
Yes, perhaps more adventurous than I like, but you have a point.
Isn't she like still missing like an arm or an ear or something like that?
An eye.
Oh, okay, an eye. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's more of a statement than anything, because you all know by now if she wanted to, she could get another eye.
Yeah.
She says, I have no desire to change that in any way. It technically is still your information, as I have not offered you a price on it. However, I am a little, shall I say, disappointed in you, as I was supposed to have first rights to it, and you are now taking that away.
I have an idea to
Xavier
sweeten
says
that
that. Oh, yeah, there we go. Xavier gives a bit of a grin. Maybe we give you something that you want more than just a bunch of stupid data from the mining corporation, mining company, whatever it's called.
I'm listening.
You would have to play along with it a bit, but if you say, we won't list you as black market, probably list you as mercenary, but if you help us with this, and then we just help supply you, and then you just happen to keep the supplies afterwards.
Okay, now you're talking my language. See, Anna, I knew my father liked you for a reason. I need to know.
Xavier gives a bit of a grin, and I'll say you'll have to have a dummy name for your mercenary group and a dummy background for it, but I could include that into the paperwork. Yeah, no problem.
Are we talking about a legitimate mercenary group or a ragtag bunch of freelancers?
Hey, the more legitimate it looks, the better.
I would also need to know what they're doing. As much as I love supplies, I don't want to send my people to die for nothing.
Well, you have quite a few connections. Find whomever you like and trust. And tell you what, Xavier says a bit of a grin, with a bit of a grin. We'll go really hog wild on the supplies, and maybe we're going to be giving the mercs a little too much that they even need. Something that you could maybe skim off of and take for yourself. Why wait for the situation to end when you can have immediate rewards?
She considers it. She goes, so hire a third party to help you.
Yeah.
You'd be
like our consultant, because we don't know about the mercenary companies around here on Zeberon. We need a trusted consultant in which to do so, in which you will receive a consultant's wage, a very sizable and generous wage, I might add you, and then you find us a nice, trusted mercenary group or groups. You tell them what they need as far as supplies go. We provide the supplies. We provide an extra 15% on top of those regular supplies. Those 50, you arrange the transportation. What do you know? That 15% goes to a different warehouse. That's fine. It's difficult to keep track of all these things. The mercs get completely supplied. You stay our consultant. You make a lot of money. You make a lot of goods. And everything just keeps on turning.
She sits there for a second, considering, tapping her nails on the desk, and she goes,
and Finn Mookie, with this information, we could probably at least guilt these parties into donating publicly to our fund, which means a bigger and bigger funding as the days go on by. And the bigger that is, it just means the more supplies, the more merc groups, the more cut you'll get.
Funding. Oh, this is about that campaign for that movie star. She was a friend of yours, if I recall.
Yes, very much so. A very dear friend for many of us.
All right. Well, first piece of advice that I can offer you is be careful how you approach it. Government officials aren't allowed to officially donate to anything like this, especially if there's terrorists involved. But that doesn't mean that there haven't been several rich, influential people that may know such senators that have contributed to them in the past. Simply be aware of such things.
Xavier gives a bit of a grin. He'll say, "Definitely." I listen. I'm not one much for politics, but I do understand the politician mindset. And even though if they can't officially do something, it doesn't mean they're censored. Doesn't mean they don't talk to their rich friends. Doesn't mean that they talk to their family and the word gets out. You can't. Just because they can't officially contribute and officially campaign for it, doesn't mean there aren't at least a few unofficial channels out there. We're one of them. Xavier gives a bit of a grin. Like you and us, Finn Mookie, we're totally unofficial right now.
She nods, and she goes, "Okay, I like your idea, and I think I may have just the one in mind. But you will need to make contact. There is a security firm that offers private mercenaries, some of the most refined and well represented you can find that would probably suit your needs very well.
Good.
But they won't work with me directly. You make the deal and then hand them over to me to manage. You pass any funds that they need through me, and we'll skim the agreed amount off the top."
Finn, why don't they want to deal with you?
Well, the thing about this security firm is they're very, very good at their job. And while they have
know
nothing
you're the head of
conclusive,
a criminal organization.
they have suspicions, yes, but
Gotcha.
they also honor their contracts. You make a contract with them, they will honor it no matter who manages it.
Is this Preston?
So you know of Prester Security.
Oh, fuck.
Well, please fill me in, says Xavier. I've been away for a while.
Actually, you were around for that.
Was I?
We
he
we
wasn't
fucked them
there.
up. You were, you
Yeah.
personally, but Saber technically would know because we
Okay,
kind of
then
fucked
fill.
them.
Okay, that was just out of character. Then fill me in.
Let's just say Xavier's the only one that can actually go into that office because they will recognize the rest of us.
Okay,
So,
I'm fine with
Except
that.
me,
I'm fine
I
with
was
that.
a wizard.
Prester Security is the security firm that installed the security measures for the D&M Mining Corporation. And in order to find out how to crack it, they basically went into Prester Security and hacked their systems.
Oh Jesus. Okay, yeah, I'll be the face. I'll do it. I'll arrange it. That's fine. That'll be a side quest for Xavier. Are we pretty? So, has everyone agreed making this deal with Finn Mookie? It sounds pretty decent. It gets us our mercs. It makes them happy. It gets us the blackmail. It gets us more money. It's a win-win situation.
It looks like it, yes.
Okay, silence means yes.
And she'll before you say you should know, she requests basically whatever funds you give to the mercenaries, add 10% to it, and that's her cut.
Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
I think that's less than what Xavier offered, so okay.
I know, eh?
Did you actually
So, yeah,
offer a number? I thought you just
nope,
said
nope.
Yeah,
10%.
yeah, definitely
10% is good. Yeah.
yeah. 10% off the top. Because again,
Squee's gonna listen to this recording and be like, "Motherfucker."
Well, it's my fault if I didn't hear. But no, honestly though, she hadn't ever given you any money for the blackmail. She was simply upset that she didn't have first rights to it. So that's not quite the same. You know what I mean? That's not like she paid you and you're reneging on it. So
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, for sure. No, we're getting her on the ground floor of this scheme, so she's happy now.
So you have the blackmail information. You have a business card to Prester Security, a one named Paxton, a securities consultant that you are to contact and set up the deal for.
And
So, my friends, so why don't we divide this side stuff up a little bit? How about Xavier goes and talks to Preston Security, and you guys deal with the being friends with the senators and giving them back their blackmailed information, and just hoping they're going to be super grateful to us. Sound like a plan? Mm-hmm. So I'm not talking all the time.
Okay. Why don't we do this if everyone's up for it? we can handle Prester first because the senators. I mean, there's 3 of them, and I need to know. Like each one of those would require a role play because each one of them are different. It's not something where I can just hand wave and say, "Oh, you got this much."
Different personalities and stuff. Yeah.
So if you guys don't mind, we can get Prester out of the way first, and then on to you guys.
2 things. One, Piff was trying to say something earlier.
Oh.
Don't you throw me under the bus like this.
I'm sorry. You kind of
What
dropped
did
it. I
you
figured
want
I'd
to
help.
say, Piff?
I don't even remember.
Okay,
then-
I was
then
just giving you
never
the chance. The second thing is before we leave Finn, Mookie, and everyone else is out of the room, she's gonna ask her, has there been anything more about Liquid going on?
I wish I could say yes, but this gentleman is playing things very close to the vest. I don't know if this is how they've always operated or if this is new, but with the exception of a few discrete acquisitions, it's as if they've dropped off the map.
And there's been, at least to your awareness, been no weird, strange new people wandering around in the black market rings?
No. No one that I haven't thoroughly vetted myself. We are still in a state of sensitive healing, shall we say?
Okay. Thank you.
She nods. And she goes, later. We'll talk later after you finish whatever it is you're doing.
It's a deal.
And she'll nod. All right. So, Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
The rest
Hey,
of the group can... Go ahead.
Sorry, just a quick thing. I'm just putting in my notes. What is Hart known by on
She's known by her real name, actually, which is Sophie Clay.
Sophie Clay. Yep.
Which you'll know from Pa is actually her given name. She just never goes by it.
Well, she went by Spunk for a couple weeks, and then she stopped with that.
Pa said that she likes to change names every so often as part of her free spirit, but her real name is Sophie Clay, and with you guys, you got to know her as Hart, so she's just basically stuck with that.
Sophie Clay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Great. No, that's all I need to know. Okie dokie. Sorry, you were saying something before I interrupted you.
The rest of the group can more than happily give you directions to Prester Security.
Great. What's it look
Any
like?
words
What kind of
of
deal
wisdom before you send them off, guys?
Yeah, I'm going in.
You're dealing with Squirrel Man.
Squirrel Man?
It's like just this squirrel that talks. in
Oh,
a
you mean
suit.
like a literal squirrel, like the species, like on Isaac's home planet?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Lucas sweats a little bit. Don't try to intimidate him. It's not gonna work.
Okay.
Right.
I have no idea. I have no intention of intimidation unless it's absolutely necessary.
Not even at
is
the
there anything that he
just
likes?
anything else.
Anything
else
that
other
he
than-
likes to sweeten the deal? Acorns, nuts, pecans.
He's very proper, best suit.
cashews? Okay, proper, professional. Xavier gives a bit of a grin, slicking back his hair. I can do that.
If you offer him nuts, he might think you're patronizing him and end the deal.
I will
early.
not offer him any nuts.
Good.
Also, while we were there, we were pretending to be getting security for a vacation home for Hart. So by you going and saying you're the manager of Hart, that might cause some weird, like, well, you didn't show up at this
Well,
point.
there goes my plan. Wait. Give me the background information. So you guys were on the, you came there on the pretense of buying some property for Hart,
No, security
that-
for a property.
and that never happened. That like
No.
you never contacted it, you never called them or anything like
We
that.
never contacted them back.
Just
What
say
was
that we
it,
went
like an
with someone
island or
else.
something?
Yeah, that's perfect. We went with someone else, and we're very disappointed with what it is, which is why we're back. Easy peasy. All right, good. Thanks for the background information, though. So I would have been caught unawares by that. So that's good. That's good. Now I'll know what to say when they throw it out at me. Okay.
That's right. I remember. Little just out of character information. Inferno. Lucas has a spell that terrifies people, And he rolled a nat 20 to resist it. Like he was cool as a cucumber, didn't even phase him.
I think he scolded it.
Is it some
Yeah,
chattering
he
teeth?
scolded
Because that's pretty intimidating. If you know what
No,
they can do.
basically, huge guns appear out of nowhere. And he scolded them.
Oh, like in The Mask.
Yeah, actually, very similar to The Mask. Yes.
Oh man, I have to rewatch The Mask. That was one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies. It was underplayed compared to like Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura, but God, that was fun.
So, but yeah. So, you put on your best suit, right?
Yeah. Now we're back. I have my wardrobe back at the second chance, so that's gonna be great. I missed that. I only left on Frontier Station with only 8 outfits. Now I have back to my natural 44 remaining, so I'm very happy.
And if you remember, I don't know whether or not it's your favorite, but your most expensive suit is still the suit Hart got you as a gift.
Yeah. Okay, I'll wear that. This will be appropriate. I'll wear that because it's for the sake of Hart we're doing this.
It's
yes.
I think it's a black 3-piece suit with a red satin shirt.
Yeah. I'm dressed to the nines, baby. Okay, I'm gonna spend an hour getting myself ready like a woman.
Takes me 10 minutes, dude.
Not only am I space racist, now I'm space sexist.
Only now.
Only now. Fuck you. Okay.
Sweet. Do we still have the fake information that we gathered about the location? Because wasn't it an island or something?
Yes, it was. You would have that. Oh man, I don't know if I still have that in the notes. I'd have to go
I
hunt
threw
it down.
out those notes, I think.
But yes, there was an island. Basically, Inferno. They were posing that Hart, being a new rich star, was buying a personal pleasure island on one of the planets and needed security for her new villa. It was a planet that was nothing but tropical islands. And I'm sorry, I don't have the notes for it, but we'll say we can keep the name vague. But it was an island on a planet. It's very popular right now. All the rich people are getting it.
Lost in
that
Paradise.
was that kind of thing.
Copyright.
I'll see if I can't find the names for it, but we'll see. But yeah, so
Fifth Element. God damn it! I have to stop referring to movies I want to watch. All right, sorry. Please continue, Squee.
Could we? I just want to brush up on if that island is still for sale or if because just in case they're oh well, actually we've installed something on this particular blah blah blah.
I see. Roll me a D100.
Can do. I did it.
It's still on the market.
Awesome.
So, yep, no one's bought it as of yet. All right. Xavier, your directions lead you to a very nice office in the upper part of District 1. District 1 is the governmental district, so the very fact that it is here speaks volumes to its reputation. And as you approach the marble steps, you are greeted at the door by security. They're dressed very nicely, but it's very clear also that they are security, and that you can see the way their jacket folds around their chest. They're packing.
I'm not packing, by the way. I don't have anything that could be remotely construed as a weapon.
Got it. All right. And they stop you at the door and they ask, your business, sir?
Well, I'm here to meet with Mr. Preston. I have a very lucrative contract to discuss with him.
It was Paxton.
Sorry, it's Paxton? Sorry.
Paxton. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Down. I say Preston?
Yeah, here. Yeah. No, I understand, though. It's something you don't know yet, but you'll probably learn very soon. Here, I'll write them down. It's Prester Security, Paxton, the security consultant.
Oh, come on. All right. Yeah, you got to help me out here. All right.
Yeah, no, I understand.
See, this wasn't just Inferno can't remember names.
No, it's not. It's not. I I promise I'll
All right.
explain.
So, Mr. Paxton.
I see. Well, inside, sir, go to the security desk. Just tell them who you're looking for, and I'm sure they'll be able to see you.
Great, wonderful.
And they
Thank you.
look you up and
I'd like
down
to
before they say that. So it's clear that you look like someone who should be going in here. So they let you
Yeah.
in.
Xavier mentally says, "You're damn straight. I look good. I spent an hour on my hair alone." All right.
You're
Coiffed.
led into the lobby. It's a very sunlit lobby. Like the whole front wall is nothing but paned glass, and there are lights outside that give the illusion of sunlight coming in through the. There is no sunlight on Zebron, but it gives the illusion when you step inside that sunlight's hitting in and lighting up the waiting room. And there is a desk at the back, made of the same white marble that the building's made out of, and there is one human girl working there. She probably looks like she's in her late 20s, dark brown hair and a bun. And as you walk up to her, she goes, "Hello, my name is Pam. How may I help you?"
Hello, Pam. My name is Xavier Anderson. I'm here to speak with security consultant Paxton in regards to a very lucrative and important security contract. If he's not too sure of my name, he might want to do a quick bit of research and understand that I am the manager for Sophie Clay.
I see. Yes, I do see about 6 months ago your organization was in here. I will send the information up if you would please have a seat. I'm sure Mr. Paxton will be with you in a moment.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And he'll sit on down and wait patiently.
You'll notice as you have to sit there for about 15 minutes or so, and as employees pass to and fro, you don't catch it at first, but you notice the name tags as people go by. You start noticing more. You see like Peter, Paul, Pamela.
That guy's name is Periwinkle.
Yeah, everyone's name starts with a P.
That is a weird form of affirmative action.
That's what I was getting at when I said her name was Patience, not what the name she gave them at the table.
Gotcha.
And after about 15 minutes or so, you hear a name. I'm sorry. Actually, I should ask, what name are you going by right now?
Xavier Anderson.
Got it. Just to be sure with your character.
That's an excellent question because I do have literally half a dozen different IDs. But that's typically back in our time in our galaxy. Xavier is known as he's only known by one name here so far, right? Which is Xavier Anderson. So yeah, might as well keep it straight.
You hear a small, slightly high-pitched voice, "Mr. Anderson."
Yes, that's me. Wait, I look around. Where is he? I hear the voice, but I don't see the person.
About 2.5 feet off the ground, you see what looks very much like a squirrel dressed in a very sharp suit. Even his tail looks immaculately brushed, and it is curled up and fluffed out right behind his head.
Well, as a man who spent a lot of time on his hair, I can respect that. Xavier will stand up, and understanding that a shake of the hand would be a little too strange, he gives a small, respectful bow. Mr. Paxton, I presume.
Yes. Real quick, sorry, kid, you had a plus sign?
Just checking if you were paying attention to the chat.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. So I thought he was going by himself. Is Kid going with him?
I mean, it makes sense that Sophie Clay's bodyguard would also be with her manager.
Why wouldn't the bodyguard be with her when she got kidnapped by terrorists?
I mean, unless, clearly they didn't.
Do you want me to fire you?
Okay,
in front of
listen. Okay. There have been many savage acts committed in this world, but that was real terrible. Holy shit.
Well, no,
Damn.
I'm personally, as a player, I'm all for involving as many people as possible, including Kid. But I honestly thought you guys said I was the only person who would do this because I'm the only person Paxton wouldn't recognize.
I will leave it up to you guys. As far as you know, you left Preston Security with them none the wiser as to what you did. So
Yeah, I remembered us doing worse, I think, when I said that.
yeah. No, you guys managed to leave on decent terms.
Then
more
yeah,
or less.
let's roll the dice. Let's have Kid here with us.
Sure, absolutely. In fact, I believe what you said is that you were going to go look for other people because your confidence in them had waned after the display.
They sucked.
Display caused by Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
So sure, Kid. We'll say Kid's there as well, and so Kid, is it fair to say that you were sitting on the same couch Xavier was?
No, because Kid doesn't sit.
Okay.
Well, then it's a spiky jacket. It will ruin the couch.
As Xavier gives a bow, you kind of walk around because you can't see Paxton from where you are. So you walk around and he goes, "Oh, and
Kid.
I'm sorry. Your name was
Kid.
Right, Kid. The bodyguard for Mrs. Clay or Ms. Clay."
Yes, it's in regards to that why I've requested this meeting. Would we be able to speak in more private, enclosed environment? This information is touchy.
Absolutely. I do keep abreast of current events. I imagine you would. Follow me, if you would, please.
Good.
And he will turn around and he will lead you to an elevator, and you'll notice
I will take very tiny strides as to not step on the giant on the tiny squirrel man.
All right. You'll notice that his gait, while as fast as yours, walking at normal speed, his gait is much shorter. So it's almost as if he's shuffling quickly along.
Gotcha.
And he leads you to a glass elevator. Oh, Kid, you're walking ahead of him?
I remember the way.
Well,
unless he's going somewhere different.
Yeah, he's going somewhere different, but he'd be more than willing to just direct you like, oh, it's that elevator there.
Yeah, kid's going ahead.
All right. You'll get into a glass elevator, and you'll take the elevator ride up, but probably about 30 floors or so. And instead of going to his office, you actually go to a sizable conference room. Looks like it's designed to seat 12 or 15 people, somewhere around there. And he'll close the door behind you, and he'll press a button, and all the windows go black. The lights turn on to make things much, as comfortable as possible. And he says, "This is one of our rooms where we conduct very sensitive dealings.
Good.
Please, have a seat."
Thank you very much, says Xavier as he takes a seat across from Paxton, folding his hands in front of him, nodding for Kid to do the same.
Kid, you'll see the seats are slightly, they're made for someone who's taller, obviously, but you don't have too much trouble being as athletic as you are. However, you will notice that Paxton gets to a chair and he just kind of stops. Like, you hear the smallest of sighs escape his lips as you see that the chair seat goes up to like his chest, and he just starts like pressing a lever underneath it, and he just goes down, and then he gets and he sits on it, and then he starts pressing a lever again, and he starts going back up a little bit, and then he stops, folds his hands on the table, and says, "How may I help you, Mr. Anderson?"
Well, first and foremost, I might say that we deeply regret not contracting your services half a year ago. Due to certain situations and incompetencies, if we hired you, we would not be in this particular situation. You say you are kept abreast of certain information and certain going on in Zeberon. Is it fair to assume that you know about the kidnapping of Sophie?
Yes, I am aware of it. I
Mhm.
have seen the campaign.
Yes. And you may or may not be aware that myself, as the manager for Miss Clay, I am in charge of not only the funds, but organizing a proper rescue effort. This obviously is not sanctioned by the Severon government nor the Corsairs. However, we do need the absolute finest in personnel to provide a support um, in uh, the rescue of Miss Clay. And we would very much like to hire your services.
I see. I would need to know more information about the incident, who took her, where, if you know, she's being kept, and what uh, opposition you expect our company to face.
Xavier gives a bit of a grin. Now, you're extremely professional gentleman, if I may say, says Xavier, but you have to understand my misgivings. There are rumors about the professionalism of your mercenary group. Is it true that you have a very high discretion clause in your contracts in which you will not divulge information about missions or other sorts of information?
Yes, by necessity, for the type of business we deal in, we have very
Of course.
strong legal contracts that prevent us from speaking to anyone,
Mhm.
official or otherwise, about dealings with this company.
Then you will understand that until any sort of contract is put into place, I can't go into any specific details, since if I tell you now, it will be not under contract and therefore not properly protected by your organization.
Yes, I suppose I can see that. Then perhaps if I ask a few general questions so
Yes,
that I can
please.
give you a tentative answer.
Of course, I don't want to give you no information. It's just the specifics you understand. So ask away and I can answer any general or hypothetical you might have.
This, Ms. Clay, uh, the rescue, or shall we say, I'll call
Support
it
for
what
the
it
rescue.
is. I'm going to be candid with you. This rescue of Miss Clay, is it supposed to be an
Uh-huh.
operation that is quick and quiet, or do we expect there to be complications, loud, so to speak?
If everything is done correctly, it should be quick and quiet. However, if mistakes are made, it might get very loud, both politically and in a very immediate sense. This is the reason why I've come to your organization and not the ones that we originally contracted. I'm not very happy with them. I
Oh,
want to do better, which is why I'm sitting across from you right now.
I see. Well, I this is my first time speaking to you, but I have told your friend, and he'll nod respectfully to Kid, that I work here because I take pride in where I work, and we are the best, whether that comes from home security or private military operations. You can't
Mm-hmm.
find any better, short of the Corsairs, but they're not exactly for sale.
They're not really hiring out.
No. So, he pauses. And he seems to be like considering his options and tapping his fingers together for some time, and he says, if we were to make a contract with you and rescue Miss Clay, which by the way, my condolences, she seemed like a very sweet young lady.
There's no point in giving condolences just yet. She's not dead, just in distress. Once she's rescued, you can personally give her your consideration.
A fair proposal. If we do help in the rescue of her, will we be able to take credit publicly?
Xavier pauses for a moment. There should be no issue with that, right, party?
Let's see. If they take public credit
That's actually good because the Corsairs want to be as away from this as possible, right? Like they don't want to be connected to this in case of any political blowback. So that could be good, right? The only thing I remember in the past couple of weeks about people want being taken credit for is Cyber 4 wanted us to cure their race and then give him the fucking credit for that asshat. So I think that's fine. Agreed? Or disagree?
I'm down.
I'm down, yeah.
It seems to be fine. I can't see any specific backlash at the moment.
Yeah.
It might get slightly. No. They want, as far as I can tell, what they're looking for is just like
A
hey,
feather in their cap.
yeah, another feather in their cap. Like we
Yeah.
did a like. This seems like a hard mission, so maybe
This
it's
is-
something that they want to do.
Exactly. It's something they can put on their tagline, yeah. So Xavier will pause for a moment and he'll say, I see absolutely no problem with that. Since you'll be doing much of the work, much of the important support, when this does come to a success, I see no reason why you shouldn't take credit. Have that another button on your suit, so to speak.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. We failed Miss Clay when she came here last by not presenting our best face forward. And had we done so, things might be different now. So I personally do feel a small sense of responsibility to this.
There's enough
I
blame
will-
to go around.
I will lay for you. I will say, tentatively speaking, I'm willing to sign a contract with you. I will give you our rough estimate prices for our packages so that you know what you're getting into before you sign it. Then we'll sign the agreement and then we can get into more details. Seem fair?
Yes, it does seem fair. I only have one very small thing to say. I'll be signing the contract, but as you know, as Miss Clay's manager, I have much of her estate to worry about and to manage. I will not be able to personally manage the contract, the mediation, but I have hired an excellent manager, so to speak. And all you have to do is just speak with her, and you know, she'll manage it from here on out.
Of course. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. It is appropriate to find people that have the strengths you don't. So I am fine
Xavier-
working with whoever you choose.
Xavier grins. He says, "I'm glad to know that a fellow individual knows that the best part of leadership is knowing when to delegate."
So, very bluntly speaking, if you're looking for a small task force, no more than 6 individuals highly equipped for a ground mission, you're looking at around 500,000 clicks. This is until the job is done. And keep in mind that all prices are subject to change if, when we arrive at said mission, things are drastically different than you could reasonably have accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
If you are looking for a larger task force, say 100 men and a ship, we're looking at about 5 million clicks. Now,
I see.
if you're saying,
Mhm.
if you're looking for a large size task force,
Small
we're
army?
looking- yes, a small army with several ships and enough firepower in case things get very loud, 20 million clicks. But I assure you, they could level a planet given the right command and use.
Xavier pauses for a moment and he says, "Would it be possible to sign 2 contracts? Have the main one be your small elite team, and have the second one be the large, army planet destroyers, and the chance that it would be an alpha and beta team. If alpha team fails and things get loud, then beta team comes in and helps us out."
We do have provisions in our contract for such a thing, though I would ask if you're aware, will you be able to? There are certain situations where backup may not be able to reach you. If you are some distance away, that might be
Oh,
different.
no, they'd be coming with us. They just wouldn't be taking part of an active planetary landing
I see.
unless it was, absolutely necessary, aka
Yes.
Alpha Team failed.
Such a thing could be worked out. Of course, we would need a retainer fee for their services. In other words, time lost, things of that nature. But it
Yes.
certainly wouldn't be 20 million
Mhm.
clicks, unless they are needed. Yes, we could drop a contract where you pay for what you use, so to speak.
Okay, excellent. Of course, yeah, a retainer fee, a sizable retainer would be more than understood. Now, do all these fees include, for lack of a better word, is this an all-in-one package deal, or are there going to be some extenuating charges down the line? Supplies for food, for fuel, for weaponry, for ammunition, for training, for travel time, for hazard pay. These things.
The packages themselves include a reasonable period of time of no more than 60 days, where the such considerations are built into the price. If you will need them for an extended period of time, then individual negotiations for supplies and the like would be negotiated at that time.
Would it be possible, Xavier says, understand that this is a very important situation. If we hire our Alpha small team, we keep the retainers supplied as they are. We examine the small team, and perhaps we find some other tools or weapons or even a ship that they might have that might suit that specific need a little bit better. Would it be possible for us to purchase it, have your employees use it? If they destroy it, so be it. But if their weapons or supplies or whatever we do to provide them is not damaged, returned at the end of the contract. Suffice to say, I'm wondering if it's possible for me to buy them a gun that they can borrow.
I think typically we would leave such decisions up to the sergeant at arms, the leader of the group going down. After all, if they're the ones using it, they have to be comfortable. I would never force them to use something they're unfamiliar with. So while I would say that
Yes.
certainly we'd be open to the idea, the final decision would be up to the leader of that team.
Okay, I'll have my manager speak with the sergeant at arms, and I want to make it very clear. I don't want to make it sound like you poorly supply any of your employees, which is so far from the truth. It's just that since I can't speak in specifics just yet until the contract is signed, there might be some environmental or opponent differences than what they're used to. And I just want to make sure the most possible avenue for success is all.
I completely understand.
Good. Then Xavier gives a grin and he says, I have the collateral. I have a pen here in my hand, Xavier says as he reaches into his pocket and takes out a pen. Surprise! It's tear gas! And I pop it open and I throw it at the
Quick,
squirrel.
kid, run!
Then I kidnap the squirrel and I hold him hostage for 80 million clicks. And then there's a big shootout and the campaign ends. Or, no, wait, just kidding. It's just a regular pen.
Still throws it
do
at
I
him.
get to choose? Is this an option?
No.
No.
No, God, you don't get to choose.
All right.
Me excited
well-
for nothing.
I have some bad news
Although-
for Kid, as
Oh.
Xavier and Paxton enter 2 hours of contract reading, negotiation, and signing.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
Okay.
gonna finagle over what the word is.
And while they do that, is it safe
You
to
wanted to come along and wear your jacket. Well, welcome to contract land.
And kids bored out of their mind.
Yeah, I know.
Well.
And we're gonna jump over to the other.
Maybe if you did a better job protecting Cart, you
Oh my
wouldn't be so bored.
That's not really what I meant.
Sad part is, kid tried so hard, she just kept falling down.
I know. Maybe if you had better legs. I'm just kidding. That was just getting back of the now you're not.
Oh man, we've never seen Kid more angry. Angry at gravity.
Please
All right.
don't show me.
All right.
Let's dancing. Show me.
So as they enter into contract negotiations, and for the sake of the party, I will say that reiterate it again. For the small team of 6 highly trained outfitted, it's 500,000 clicks. And then if you want the provisions, it can go up to 20 million, and the 20 million involves a frigate, several manned fighters, and probably about 200 shock troops.
But you said they would be on a retainer, which wouldn't be the full
Correct.
20 million. So
Exactly.
what would the retainer fee be?
The retainer fee would be 10%.
So what's the retainer fee? 10%. Okay. So we should earmark 20 million in case they're needed, right?
Mhm.
So let's not overspend, but we might come out of this with 18 million extra. So okay, cool. Is everyone cool with that? Wait, is everyone cool with that idea of having the small elite task force? And just like we have political backup, now we have a fucking military backup, which is like, maybe if they send more than a couple of ships at us, we can be like, hello, welcome to our frigate.
Yeah, I will definitely say, I believe the money that is left over, now of course you can finagle it out how you want, but the writing for it is supposed to be more of like make sure all of these funds are for saving Heart, which honestly I would love to deck out every single one of them, and maybe even like ourselves with like super great biz.
Well, if we sign the contract right now, earmarking the 20 million, the 500,000, we still have 39.5 million clicks to outfit ourselves, our soldiers if we want, our Corsair backup, the whole
there's
thing.
Also the 10% for Finn Mookie. Or was that calculated in?
No, that's not calculated in. So,
but also keep in mind this is before any blackmail attempts as well, so that number may go up. Just depends.
Exactly. So, so right now we're sitting approximately 39.5, probably closer to 35 after Finn Mookie. Is everyone happy with still having 35 million clicks to outfit ourselves?
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. So yeah, then Xavier will sign the contracts after we go through every single line to be sure. And rock and roll party time.
All right. So then what I'll do, real quick. Yes, Isaac?
I do want to say that I have been fairly silent for most of this session, but that is because in character I don't think that Isaac would be taking any of this very well. So he would very likely be back on the ship trying to figure out how to do the armor for Rael along with potential options for the ship.
Sure. Actually, we can cover that real quick. As long as you feel
you're in the middle of a sentence about the contracts. Can you finish that first and then go to Isaac?
Yes. I'm sorry. So what I was going to say was, we'll cut over to everyone else, and then once we're done with that part of it, we'll bring the whole group back together so that you can then tell Paxton the details that you wish to impart upon him as a group. Sound like a plan?
Oh, you mean as like? Not that sounds like a plan. Although the group isn't going to get together and meet with Paxton, right?
You can if you wish.
Yeah,
I mean that's what I'm saying. Okay, that's fine. Then in that case, then we'll do everyone else, and we'll jump back to Inferno and Kid.
Yeah, it works for me. Yeah. Share the spotlight. It's all good.
All right. Bern, as long as you feel as a player, still feel okay to chime in out of character, then by all means, I completely understand Isaac's going through some tough times. So, as far as Rael's armor goes, you would have to rent out a space to work on it. However, it's meager. I mean, you could rent out a workshop for 2 weeks for probably 2,000 clicks. You just there's a space you would need to do it. Question for you. Cathor could help you. However, he was planning on focusing on a way to something that you guys have talked about for some time but haven't had the resources to do, which is a way to separate going into the physical ship versus going into the pocket dimension. So that you can pick or choose.
I'm completely fine with him doing that.
Okay. So then Cathor is going to focus on that. And for everyone else, basically Cathor is trying to develop a way so that right now, when you go up the gangplank, you go into your pocket dimension, period. He's trying to develop a way so that you can choose to either go into the actual second chance or into the pocket dimension. Can be very useful if, say, you want people to board your ship but not actually get to your pocket dimension kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can rent out a space for 2,000 clicks. Rael's armor. I noticed that you mentioned making kind of a mesh with hardened plates, which seems like a great idea, great way to do it. Here's what I can say. If you do the mesh across most of his body and the hardened plates more along the vital parts, like his head and his upper chest area where his vital organs are, you could make and prepare with cost materials and basically just materials because you don't have to pay yourself for labor. You'd be looking at right around something Rael size. Be looking right around 2 million clicks total, and that would grant him. It would grant him basically 400 MDC armor.
What about the armor rating?
Well, that's the fun part. He wouldn't really have one because you came up with a nice idea of a sleeve of soft, flexible armor mesh, which means that 99% of his body would be covered by at least the mesh.
Oh, okay, then fantastic. Would you guys be okay with spending that much cash?
Yep.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I should probably affirm that as well, I guess.
Then we are at 33 mil.
That would also, I'm sorry, I forgot. That would also include the construction, especially Isaac, if you're repurposing, it's like you buy some trashy mega damage vehicles and repurpose them. You could, for now, for the time being, within the 2 weeks, you could make a, I can't think the name of it, but like a large saddle where they could seat, 6 to 10 people in it. They wouldn't have much of a covering, but it would be a place where you guys could ride without falling off and would have actually like partial cover from things.
Okay.
And then you guys can determine later if you want to expand upon that or not. But that's what Isaac could do. It would take you most of the 2 weeks to do that because that is a large task that you're setting before yourself.
Yeah.
But you could get that done in about 2 weeks with that money and resources. All right.
Sounds good.
So that is what Isaac's doing for the foreseeable future. Let us jump to Lucas and Anna. Is anyone else? Do you want any of the NPCs to come with you? Namely, Indigo or Tessa.
So, it's been a bit. We're going to let's see.
Blackmail.
He went blackmail, right? Anyone good with talking about no, probably not her. I was going to say, who knows about these sort of politics peoples? Oh, there's that nice lady who has glowy fists. Oh, but she was an ex-Corsair and they would know her.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, they might. I mean, it's not like the senators know every Corsair that exists, but
there was
they
a
were
public
quite...
televised
Yes.
event where
I
they
was gonna
were.
say, but they were quite famously drummed out. Yes.
Lambasted in front of the entire planet. Can you imagine? Sorry, I just like how much of a mind job would that be? Like I appreciate the government transparency, but holy shit.
Yeah.
No secrets for anybody now.
Except for that we exist.
So
Well,
we'll
yeah,
say
I
for
guess.
now, Anna and Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have 3 potential targets. You have Senator Teal, who spent money to hire freelance mercenaries to get her brother out of basically the mafia about 15 years ago. You have Senator Boren, who is into lots of illicit drugs. And you have Senator Grakkus, who is being blackmailed because of a picture of a young woman and him, though you don't have much details as to what that means.
It could be anything. The context is unsure.
Well, we already have connections at least with the first person, with
Mhm.
Senator Teal, so she'll probably be a good start.
Okay. So we'll say that it doesn't take too long to get an audience with her. First things first, do you name drop like, hey, we're the people that helped with her investigation to clear her name or save her life, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes.
I don't know, Lucas would.
Okay. Then it doesn't take very long at all. It takes about maybe half an hour. They tell you that she's in a meeting, but please have a seat. You're also in District 1, so you're not that far off from where Xavier is. And you're eventually brought into a fancy room with a large balcony outside and still a cracked marble floor where a certain individual shot at her.
Hey, this is where we first met.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, it was Lucas.
This is what it looked like from our spot.
Well, I was knocked out, so I don't really remember much of
When it
that.
looked like you shot her.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And Senator Teal, is again, she's in her late 40s, seems like. She is humanoid, but certainly not human, not judging by the tint of her skin, which today is actually a light shade of purple, slightly different than you remember. Her hair is snow white and falls loosely down around her shoulders. She has very, very deep green jade eyes. As she stands up from her chair and she'll say, "Oh, I wasn't expecting to see you again. But you welcome. How can I help you?"
Well, before all of our before we want to tell you things, is this place, as he like points around, is this place like a private place, or is this like a does the walls have ears or whatever? What is that?
Ah,
I see them look over to Anna.
Is there surveillance and or ways people can listen in on us?
no. Surveillance and bugs in a counselor's or senator's office is a capital offense, and we are swept daily to ensure that such things don't exist. If privacy is what you're after. And she'll snap her fingers. And there were about 6 people in the room at different places. 3 of them get up and leave the room without a word, and 3 of them stay. And she says, "The 3 that remain I trust with my life and would share any secrets with them. So, if you have anything to discuss, you can do so now."
Any secret?
Yes, any secret.
Including one with, as Lucas clears his throat, a certain mining corporation.
Huh, she says. And she kind of leans back on her desk. Like she's come out from around to the front of the desk and she kind of sits on the edge of the desk and she goes, "Yes, even that incident, though I am very curious as to how you know anything about that.
Lucas like stops for a second. He's like, "Me too." Anyway, a lot of particular circumstances got us to a particular piece of information, and we are happy to announce that we have it, and we're going to be removing it.
She like starts trying to speak for a few seconds, like a couple times, and then she goes, "So let me see if I can fill in the gaps. You somehow acquired this sensitive information from the D&M Mining Corporation, who has been blackmailing me for over 5 years, and are now telling me that you are going to get rid of said information."
Yes. Well, we've already done that, actually. It's sort of a finished package.
So the information is gone.
We... He looks over at Anna. Would you want to take it from here, or is this like a...
The information they had on their computers has been erased.
All right. So that we are clear with one another, what is this information?
How's your brother doing?
Ah. So you are telling the truth. Well then. If what you say is true, you are doing me a very kind service, though I can't imagine exactly why, other than my political experience, which tells me you're looking for something.
Oh, actually, this is kind of more of a... It's even like adventurer's charity, something that we come across a wrong and we made right.
She stares at you for quite some time. Lucas, roll me a trust check. Because while this doesn't seem odd to us who play pen and paper games, in the real life, that is... No one does that.
Oh, shit.
My
You know what? I'm running to the table. I'm gathering my dice. Give me a second. I need to find the one that I want most in
Yeah,
life.
just pre-roll it. Make sure to pre-roll the ones out of it.
I'm rolling in my hands.
I also hope she knows that we were the people that saved her.
Yeah, she knows. She knows.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why they were able to see her so quickly. I'm sorry. No, you're rolling D100. Pre-roll the 99s out of it. The 99s.
Okay. Yeah.
You want the ones?
This will take a while.
God, this is so weird.
All right. Let me just get right to the fucking.
Oh
no!
All right, and I know she goes.
So that if you know what? No, I won't give you the numbers. There you go. It's 91. I failed by it's less than 30.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
She remains sitting on the desk, and she goes, "Huh. I'll give you credit. I haven't heard that one before. But seriously, what is it you're after? No one does something like this for free."
For friendship, perhaps, though.
Ah, then favors. Well,
Not explicitly. If you happen to help us, you happen to help us. If not, well, you won't have to be paying them any more money.
Anna?
Think of it as we're forcing we want to be friends, and you can say yes or no. I mean...
Anna, roll me a trust check.
Yes. Oh, that'll be 52.
I love this.
She crosses her arms and she says, "Okay. And what would a friend do that would be helpful to you?"
One of our friends is in danger. You've probably seen the GoFundMe. We know you directly can't help us, but who knows what you can do?
She kind of looks around, her eyebrows raised in confusion. Fund me.
The fundraiser. Race GoFundMe and put fundraiser.
Right. Fundraiser. You mean for that actress?
Yes. She's
Yeah.
a close friend of ours.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You're an interesting group of people.
We've been told that many times.
Yes, you are correct that I cannot officially donate to such a fund. I could mention in certain circles that donating to such a charity might make myself and my constituents smile favorably upon them. Certainly, there's enough greedy lobbyists out there that would jump at the chance. But I need to understand something. Your graciousness, it ends here. You're not going to be back in 6 months asking for more friendship.
We won't have any
Like,
more
Lucas
evidence
sounds like
against you.
I
Or whatever, Lucas.
I would still want to be friends if you don't. I mean, that's if you don't
She
want
actually, she actually smiles and like a little laugh escapes her lips, and she goes, "I can't tell if you two are being completely honest or are by far some of the best politicians I've ever met.
Yeah.
I will be optimistic for at least one day and say maybe it's the former. I will talk to my friends." Let me amend that. I will talk to certain lobbyists vying for my favor. We'll see what they can do.
If nothing happens, nothing happens. We're okay.
out of character. Do you want
Mhm.
to say that you preemptively put the information on a thing to give to her? So
Yeah,
we're
I
all
was thinking that as well.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we can say you did that. That's. Oh crap! Did we do that? Did we bring it? No, I'm sure that you guys would have thought about that before going. So
She will hand her the thumb drive then and be like, "This is it. Burn it,
okay.
melt it, whatever."
She'll nod, and she'll say, "Well, did not expect this when I woke up in the morning. This makes twice now I've been indebted to you. Tell me something.
That's not my friends.
Is there any chance of political blowback from this little fundraiser adventure you're going on?"
Lucas crosses his arms. I don't know anything about politics.
I'm starting to believe that. Very well. Then I'll say this. Because you've been so breathtakingly innocent and naive about all of this, if you do run into some form of political complications, contact my assistant. I make no promises, but it is what it is.
Thank you.
She
We're
nods.
friends.
Dun, dun, dun. One of you two, roll me a d6.
Go for it.
6.
Okay. Over the course of the
6
next
bullets.
5 days, a total of 6 million clicks is donated to the fund through various organizations that are have strong lobbying interests in the council.
I'm glad I rolled a 6.
Yeah. All
One of
right.
these days, I want to be like, roll a dice, and it'll just be the inverse. So they roll a 6, and you're like, you get 1 million, and they're like, motherfucker, why? I
Just
didn't
be
tell
like,
you
that
what the
doesn't even
numbers
make
were.
sense. Or it's like even which is like roll a d100, you get 76. I'm like 13 million. What?
How? Well, it's simple. 1 to 12 is 1 million. 12 to 21 is 2.
You take the square
This
root,
fucking
multiply by
convoluted
0.6.
chart.
All right. Okay. Do you guys mind if I go grab a drink before you move on to your
No,
next victim?
you keep
Nope, I need a drink.
DMing. I don't care if you're thirsty.
Well, I'm getting a drink.
Yeah, of course.
All right. I'll be right back.
Someone put that on my gravestone when I die. No, keep GMing. I don't care if you're thirsty. That delights me to know.
Will there be any political blowback for this? I don't know anything about this.
That's true.
That is way less suspicious than anything I could think of. So, 'cause my
I don't know
response.
about politics.
Well, I think that might be the first time Anna's ever been called innocent and naive. Well, innocent and naive together. Naive, probably innocent, maybe, and if the judge was paid off, but.
Why does the planet have anime eyes? And why have been we looking at this for the past hour and a half?
Because Zebra.
Because they're wrong.
Actually, I'm going to be right back again.
It's the eye of Zeberon, not the eyes of Zeberon. So, okay, fair enough. I'm not saying get rid of them. Okay, now it's puking. No, wait, is that a tongue? That's creepy. Obviously, it must be Pip. He's the only one here that's giggling.
What?
You're bad at lying.
Why? Whoa, guy. Me?
Cat's out of the bag, dude. Peh. That's the angry noise she makes. Peh.
Why is it? No, I don't want to know. Never mind.
This is why Pip did it, because everyone's like, what? Why?
I walked away for like not even 2 minutes.
Does it take that long to draw a tongue? Especially if it's
Oh.
What the?
Nothing.
Is something
to see
bleeding?
here.
Pip did it. Pip did it.
No.
Anime on
You made me
say the
snort,
tongue
you
no.
bastard.
I'm sorry. You guys can't see because I have him on the DM layer right now, but I have the tokens of Charlotte and Wansook up there, and to me it looks like Charlotte was looking at that line judgingly.
Well, we all are, so.
Yeah. All right. So everyone back?
I don't know if Burns back.
Yeah,
It
I'm here.
wasn't me.
Okay.
Okay.
Guess
So
who's back again.
you have
Bernie's
Senator
back.
Boren and Senator Grakkus. Boren is the one into drugs. Grakkus is the one with the picture. And by the way, you don't have to go to all three of them. It's up to you.
Oh no, we're gonna
Real
go all
quick,
three.
Squee. I believe when we were first looking into the attempted murder of Teal, there was a senator that was apparently like either like a rival or like besties with her. Was that Grakkus?
Yes, Grakkus was so the Senate was arguing against whether or not they were going to increase defensive spending. She was against it. Grakkus was for it, and they were very, very opposed to each other. But in the Senate, it's not like it had spilled out publicly. But she had raised concerns that he was adamantly opposed to her. So while basically that by default made him a suspect since someone was trying to kill him.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Here's the issue with drug guy is he might want us to get him drugs.
Or get him clean.
Look, Luca's got drugs. Okay, if you want.
Actually, Lucas
been walking
has
around the drug
cocaine
dealer since the
still,
beginning.
I think.
Yeah.
I forgot Lucas had a pound of cocaine.
And he found one off like a raving lunatic off the streets.
You found a cocaine?
Yeah.
You guys,
We-
I don't think
our
you still
party-
have it,
our
but you used to
party-
have the.
Our party is pretty free when it comes to drug use. Remember Talavac and Xavier got fucking high like crazy on Elementa dust?
Yeah.
Lucas
So-
too.
So let's just say the Ronald Reagan administration would be very upset with with our group.
Do you guys still
Oh.
have any of that element to dust?
No, we got rid of that. We sold it.
Okay.
And
yeah.
the big part of it, we had to hand it over for the hunt. Remember the hunt,
Yeah, that's right.
the Great Hunt, or whatever it was called, also known as Splagorth Happy Time.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're okay with supplying this guy with drugs, is what I'm getting.
But we
Well,
don't have to give
some of
him
the party
anything.
is. I mean, am I personally okay with it? No. But Xavier's kind of a if I don't know, I don't care type of mentality.
At this point, there's very little this group hasn't done to acquire someone's cooperation.
That's true. We once rented an entire spaceship filled with hookers.
I was gonna say,
I
was
was-
sex any of them? But that's like, yes,
I
hookers,
was
right.
thinking of Admiral Bush, but yes, that too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Admiral Bush, where we literally just had
We hoard out
Lucas.
Lucas.
yeah, we hoard out Lucas
Yay!
just to get a few million credits or
A few
I know, it
million.
seems so small now.
A few million.
Yeah,
It's
I-
only
I-
just
I
a
was-
few.
I was glad like no because I was having expectations someone to say only 6 million. I'm like, yeah, 6 million's a lot.
Yeah.
I would take 6 million of anything, pretty much.
You take 6
You're not-
million herpes?
Yes.
Pretty much, not absolutely. Yes, I don't want 6 million herpes. What am I gonna do with one herpes? Anyways, we're digressing.
Well, it's
Alright.
good to know I don't have to be clean when it comes to the negotiations.
So yes, and to answer Kid's question, Senator Grakkus, that was the one. He's the one with the unknown picture, and then you have Senator Boren, who likes coke.
Ironically,
was
because
flipped.
his name sounds like boring, and boring people don't like cocaine.
So who's first?
Well, apparently we have drugs, so I guess drug guy.
Why do you keep thinking we're gonna give him drugs?
It just
Whoever said this?
The
Because I
concern is that if we get rid of the black man, what's he gonna do for his drugs?
yeah.
I'm sure. You know what? Here's a little true to life fact. Drug addicts will find drugs pretty much no matter what. So you don't have to worry about that. The poor
Okay.
man will get his drugs if he really wants them.
We're adventurers. Why would he ask us for? I guess no. Since we are adventurers, people ask us to freaking remove rats out of their goddamn. Whatever.
We accepted that one. We
Hey,
chilled
can you imagine if nowadays the police are like, they pull you over and you're a drug dealer? You're like, I'm not a drug dealer. I'm an adventurer.
That has
I'm
a back half
selling,
problem.
I'm just selling my inventory on the street, like an
Just think that
adventurer.
you're sampling your own inventory.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So you're going for him first. All right. He's a bit harder to get into contact with. Again, we're playing kind of fast and loose with time here. But you make an appointment. I would say it depends a lot on how you make the appointment. So you go up to his desk. We don't have to role play this if you don't want to, but you go up to his desk and you request an appointment with him. How? What are you saying when asked the reasoning?
The reasoning to meet with him.
Mm-hmm.
So is this like over another person or directly to him?
To him.
To me, is
Uh,
this is to him.
No. This is to like his secretary.
Okay, so we can't just say like we got Coke. Come on over.
Yeah. Look, nothing's stopping you, but
I'm
Well,
just
my
saying the
first-
secretary is probably going to gossip a bit. I don't.
yeah.
Oh, this would not work. My first thought was, we're his therapist.
Where is rehab group?
Yes, because if anyone wouldn't know
I did say we
who the
should do
senator's
it.
itinerary is and who groups they do or don't see, it would certainly not be the secretary.
Oh, jeez.
It'd be, I guess we would probably just put it under important information about the senator.
Okay. He, because it's he, would say, can't give me any more details than that.
This is going to get real
Understand.
uncomfortable real quick. Do you have anything, Mackenzie, or do you want me to try to go for this?
If you have an idea, go for it.
Are we like over the phone or something like that?
No. You're standing in front of his desk. This is the secretary's desk, and he's sitting there going, Senator Boren's a very important man, and there's lots of people who want to see him, and I'm sure all of them feel they have important information.
Tell him it's about a corporation of miners, like mining.
Are you lobbyists?
Lucas doesn't know what a lobby is.
We work for the said mining company, and we have something we should bring to his concern.
Okay. And he like writes that, types it down. I will pass this along to him. I can either contact you back at a number of your choosing, or you're welcome to sit and wait if you'd like.
Let's sit and wait.
I mean, I got time. Lucas
Oh.
goes over and like starts just like fiddling with like ooh, what does he have in his bag? He just plops down his bag in front of him and starts rattling around in
A
it.
brick of cocaine.
Just starts drugging up right in front of him.
Lucas, no. Think of the children.
No, I imagine
fair.
like
To be fair, you don't know if cocaine's illegal here.
him taking out
I
a
guess
brick
Anna
of
would.
cocaine and playing with it like you would Play-Doh.
Jeez, that would not end well.
No, it wouldn't. Just
All right,
gets
so-
everywhere.
You
He
guys
starts
sit
examining
down.
the royal goblet he got.
So you guys sit down and wait for a senator. 6 hours later.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks.
It is late, and it's like around dinner time now, when a lot of shops are starting to close up, and a small wispy individual. They're trying to think exactly how to describe this because I wasn't as detailed in my notes as I could have been. I have an image, but I have to figure out words for it. Imagine.
It's the image of hamburger. The
No.
word is delicious.
No. Imagine imagine a troll, like an actual troll, like that stays under a bridge, Billy Goat's Gruff
Okay.
type troll. Big bulbous nose, very hairy, fairly large, has 2 horns that curl up over its head, and an underbite. Imagine that with dark brown hair, wearing a suit. And they come out of their office, and the secretary goes, "Oh, Senator Boren, Cancel my dinner appointment. I tired. I'm gonna go home. Who are they? Senator, they are here to see you. Something about a mining corporation. Oh, and he like looks at you like with his eyes like kind of wide, and he goes, "Oh yes, them. Come in, come in, come in." And he opens his door and motions you in.
We follow.
Yeah.
Just what Inferno.
Yeah. Tired. Gonna go home and totally not do drugs.
Wonder how many balloon animals I have created in this time.
6 hours, probably quite a lot. Oh man. Do you follow him into his office?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
He
I
closes the
check
door
for
behind
pranks.
you. There's no pranks.
You roll for it.
No.
Anyway.
He closes the door behind you, and he goes, "You're early, or just in time. Do you have it?"
We have the blackmail information from said mining company that we don't actually work for, but we can also eliminate any of this blackmail for you.
I'm sorry, what? I meant the drugs. Do you have the drugs?
I don't have any drugs.
Yes. I'll get it. As he then stands up and walks out. And takes
like
takes whatever sort of ride back to the ship.
Oh
my god. I love how you're like, why do you think he's gonna ask us for drugs? Literally the second thing out of his mouth.
So luckily for you, District 2 is fairly close to District 1 is fairly close to District 3. It's only a half-hour trip.
Did
During
you
which
just
time-
ditch Adam?
Yep.
During which time, there's like about 5 minutes of awkward silence, and then a little bit of like, Did you like leave it outside? Didn't bring it with you?
He's been unreliable as of late, but always gets it done in the end. It's just a matter of how long does that take.
Yeah, no. Does he like does he always dress like that?
It changes on the week.
'Cause I think he's delivered here before. I'm not sure. Anyway. Like, and then just like half an hour of that.
It's a good thing we
Overall-
don't have cell phones because Lucas would be blowing up right now.
Overall, I mean, the demeanor you get from this guy, this giant troll-like guy, is fairly cheerful.
So he's already high.
I mean, I don't know if you would be able to tell that on a human, much less an alien. So you don't know.
Well, he's not leaving and he's not hitting on her, so
Nope, not doing either of those.
I'm okay.
And so it's just like it doesn't stop. It's like 30 minutes of just, humming, awkward. Like the awkwardness never goes away. And then like, every so I'll be like, so do you watch sports?
Not really.
Yeah, that's good.
Not beyond those that I've been dragged to because of gambling, but
Like it's that. That's the entire
Okay,
30
can
minutes.
we speed this along,
Yes.
please?
Yes. So Lucas gets back, and you come in through the door, and I would say almost at the same time, Anna and Senator Boren go, "Oh, here." I don't know what Anna says, but it's like instantaneous.
Lucas.
Lucas comes back, he squalls over to the area and drops 1,600 credits worth of drugs on the table.
That's a pretty sizable amount, I suppose. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't do drugs, so I don't know how much that would get you, but I imagine.
Okay,
It would get you 3
$1,600.
marijuanas. Hello, sir. I would like 2 cracks and 3 marijuanas, please. Here's $1,600.
I don't know what 1/2 is.
It would get you a bushel of coke.
But the other half is a drug called Kirk, apparently.
Got it.
I believe the description of it was,
Does
the
it make
guy
you talk
from Star
like
Trek.
this?
Yeah, that. That.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, was this on in a rifter or something?
No, I think that was just like a thing that I got in a back alley. I think it's just a
So,
thing
so
that
something
happened.
that Squee made up.
I believe it was something I pulled out of my ass. Yes.
Okay, cool.
I mean, world building. That is what.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Right? He'll look at it and go, "Oh, this is different."
Yes. It looks like a bit of a change in suppliers and whatnot, so it's going to be coming from a bit of a different source, but you keep getting your stuff.
All right.
We actually just dropped in to really say that we have changed it, but I mean, here's something ahead of time.
Ah, I see. And he like goes back behind the desk and sits down. And he'll take one of it and like he takes his pinky claw and like scoops it and then oh. All right. I don't think this is whoa. So new supplier means new negotiations. Now, I've been pushing forward your agenda for the mining corporation for the past few years. Is this changing? Are we keeping on with the usual?
Oh yeah, no, that's completely changing. We'll
Because
keep you...
we've been getting pretty close to getting the bill passed through.
Oh yeah. How is that going, by the way? Like
It's got a lot of traction. Yep, a lot of interest.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how close is it to like really getting through?
Government being what it is, probably about 8 to 10 months.
8-10 months. Oh, that's good.
Well, yeah, I'm working on it.
Situations might change, but we'll definitely say it's just going to shift a bit. Shouldn't worry about it. So I'm a little new at this. I'm more of a messenger person, but I mean I could drop off a few things every once in a while, just for a good friend, you know. What is the usual that you get? What do you like, and what is the usual?
Has anyone seen the movie The Big Lebowski?
I have.
Okay, it sounds like Piff is channeling the dude right now. I'm just gonna say that. where he just keeps rambling and it doesn't really make any sense, but he just keeps on going.
Yeah.
Man, the bag and the, things have changed.
And
New information, man.
Senator Boren actually he gets in and goes, I get what you're doing. You want me to start, just like a hover salesman. All right, look, I haven't forgotten what our deal is. You know that I'm not exactly so hot on the clicks front. I got a lot of things tied up and a lot of investments, but what I am really good at is pushing things through unseen, getting some bills passed, or on the other fronts, if you need a little traffic going through, the temporal gate without too many records to say when or where, I can make those kind of things disappear. Or if you need to get someone onto certain planets that needs to be done so in a diplomatic community type of way, that's typically our deal so far. I haven't forgotten.
Good. So now I think what happened, it's basically a change of hands, a change of managers at this point. So the new one might want something else, but it's basically the same deal. So you should, it's basically the same stuff. So we just want to make sure that you get what you want. So what do you what is your taste? What do you like? And then like Lucas starts like rattling off a few.
Oh yeah, that, yes. Oh, do it, engage, right. Whatever. Yes.
All right. So it might be slow for the other information where the other side doesn't quite understand or see that like they don't know that word travels a bit slowly around here. They might not understand that there's no more like their services are done, but like the cycle keeps continuing, so they might want to still like try to do that sort of like service and whatnot. It honestly unneeded. We got your back. And I mean, we even have their contract that they did. So
well, yeah, I figured no one else comes in here just wandering in with drugs.
You know what? You're smart.
Look, like I said, if you need any of these, and he does like huge quotation marks, favors, or if you're dropping something off, my secretary outside, tell him, talk to Mickey. He understands. He'll get you in here. We'll do some business. It's fine. Just like always.
Just like always.
It's always.
Just a bit. It's just a shift. There's a few people that won't understand right away. They'll just have to be steered straight. Just a little. It's a little awkward, but it should be completely fine.
Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. There's someone trying to muscle in on you, and I should be careful for them. Got it.
Yeah. I think it's probably going to be like, without their contract, I think the mining company is probably still going to like, they still probably still want that thing, and there's probably a few people who've been told that like, no, you don't do that anymore, but they're still going to do it anyway.
All right. Let's just keep this simple and quiet. If your people need a favor from me or you're dropping something off, it comes from you. Straight from you. I won't deal with anyone else. That way we know that you know that I know that. Hang on. Shit.
Oh yeah. No, I'll personally point to every single Look, we can show you the contract if you want.
Yeah. No. Look, I'm a people person. People man. If you want anything, it's you. Yes. He points to Lucas.
Right.
You clown boy.
I will I will definitely come in here next time, and I will point, because I'm also a pretty busy man myself. But I will personally point to the people that you should trust. If you don't see me point at them, don't trust them. And he points at like Anna.
All right, yeah, sure, her too. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, are those your balloon animals out there?
Yes.
Are they part of the deal? I mean, my kids love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right then. You or her. If you come in, tell the secretary to see the Mickey. Get me in. We'll do business. You know what I mean? And don't worry, I won't deal with anyone else but you. I got this. We've been doing this a while. It's fine. Oh yeah, just don't come in here when I'm seeing constituents or anything. I'm sure you understand.
Oh yeah. No, I'll knock. Don't
All right. Well then, au revoir. Bye bye. Get out or whatever.
Lucas nods. He stands up. So, yeah, this is more of just like a strict favors thing, right?
Yeah, like I told you, my cliques, they're invested in many different startup companies. I mean, they're doing good, a lot of interest and all that, but yeah, I'm not so much a liquid guy. I'm a favor guy. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. You're one of the good guys.
I'm a mover. I'm a shaker. That's what
Yeah.
I do. And he like hits the desk. Poof, I shake things.
I'd be pleasure to have more business with you later. Bye. Oh, he like was actually before we when is it like a monthly thing, or is that like a weekly?
Hang on, excuse me. He goes, enough with the tests already. I mean, come on. We know it's usually on a monthly thing, but if I'm throwing a party or something, I'll reach out to you through my secretary. By the way, yeah, you should probably drop off your number. Because we want to make sure we're dealing with you or you, lady.
See, I didn't bring my number. Very similar to the drugs. I will be back with that.
Right. Well, I'm not going to be here in 30 minutes, so just leave it with my secretary later.
Absolutely.
Okay, then. We done? I have a bar mitzvah to go to.
Who's the lucky boy?
Okay, and I'm just going to pull out a character.
Oh my god, no, is there space Christianity? There's space Judaism.
Pull out a character there as either you guys leave or Lucas goes with him to a bar mitzvah. I'm not really sure.
Lucas would totally do that.
Yeah, I was about to say,
that he
if you
does.
give him the choice, Lucas is going to the bar mitzvah.
I was pretty sure, which is why I was pulling out of character.
Also, Lucas would probably pull Anna aside when he could, in pretty much private away from the guy. Go, we could probably just give this over to Finn, and she could probably profit off of this, and then we can kind of deal through her.
I can talk to her about that.
I'm going to bar mitzvah. Bye.
I'll just let you guys know right now. You were talking about why would we bring drugs. This would have been a whole lot harder if you didn't.
You mean you didn't bring drugs?
Yeah,
What
but
the
you gotta
fuck
think
use
about
are
it,
ya?
Well, no, you got to think about it. If it's a trust issue, no one just walks in there and says, yeah, I got the drugs. Hang on. Into a senator's office if they don't know what's going on.
Fair.
We weren't even. It wasn't even about drugs. It was more of just like we have the thing. Maybe I didn't read the contract very well. It's just like more of like they're hovering like this thing over his head.
No, it was they were hovering his drug addiction over his head, but also helping him acquire said drugs in return for him pushing their agenda in the government.
Okay.
So they were simultaneously his suppliers and his blackmailers, which, by the way, is a pretty good position to be in.
Yeah.
Especially when you see where his priorities are.
Yep.
And we could
All
probably
right.
use the temporal gate thing to benefit us somehow with this. If not, at least in the future.
All right. Real quick, because it's taken a while. You guys have one more person to go to, but Inferno, Laura, do you guys want me to jump back to you for a bit? Because we still have some stuff with Paxton.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. This can be handled mostly out of character. You guys spend a few hours going over the contract, going over the nitty gritty. Xavier, you'll find that as contracts go, it is fairly straightforward and incredibly legally binding, as in you have the right to sue the company for any breach of trust to anyone,
Sweet.
including officials, barring a difficult to obtain warrant.
Okie dokie.
And the prices are as he listed, so everything there is fine. It even has in the contract that he will be working through a liaison designated by you, and that that you will be putting higher tiers on retainer. So
Okay.
you guys sign the contract in pen, which is maybe a little quaint and archaic in to most people in this day and age, but still, when it comes to legal contracts, a signature is hard to duplicate. Not impossible, but it's definitely hard. So, still not not strange when it comes to official and legal documents.
Okay. Great.
And once the contracts are signed, it's still this whole time it's been Paxton and you two. After the contracts are signed, he says, "Well, looks like everything's in order. I'll go ahead and submit the paperwork. We will, of course, need an advance, but we won't need it until I suppose we call it the deployment phase. And it's a quarter at deployment phase, and the rest upon the resolution of the contract, one way or the other."
Okay.
And now that you can have a reasonable sense of security in my discretion, I would very much like to know what exactly we're talking about here.
Yeah, now that the contract's signed, it is simple. Well, simple in theory, difficult in practice. Pretty much we're going to hire you to travel through time and rescue Sophie from a group of cybernetic or perhaps bionic or robotic individuals. One leader that has become quite hostile to us has kidnapped Hart and has a headquarters. It's not even a planet. It's more of a sphere around the sun. So one of those quadrants lies this individual's realm of influence and Hart. We plan on a peaceful resolution in curing their species of a disease. However, this might not be enough to sway or stop this rogue cyber named Cyber 4. So you are our contingency plan. Pretty much your elite team and ourselves, in addition to a couple of Corsairs agents that are working on an unofficial basis, will head down to the planet and physically rescue Hart and another individual named Cyber 6 if the cure isn't good enough. This will be happening in about 1 week and 5 days, and when we arrive at the planet, it'll be like it's only been an hour has been passed. So Sophie, you know her, Sophie, will still very much, hopefully, be alive.
His face remains mostly impassive for most of it. His eyebrow raises when you say Corsair.
Corsairs.
Yeah.
Yep. See,
But
I can tell him
after-
because if he tells anybody, I'll fucking sue the shit out of him.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'll live in clover for the rest of my life. My long life.
He says, "I see. Has this civilization? Do they have any dealings with Zebron? Has contact been made? Are there diplomatic channels?"
Contact has not been.
Hold on. Okay. There is a ton of static. I'm sorry. I had to mute peeps. Okay, he's coming back.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry, it's his internet was having issues.
Yeah. Either that or his mic. I don't know.
So, hey guys. Welcome to gearing up to destroy Cyber 4, or possibly talk him peacefully out of it. Because you guys are up for a non-violent resolution with that guy, right?
No, he's, as far as I'm concerned, dead.
Oh, absolutely. Kid is going to demand his head.
Okay. All right. It looks like Inferno's out for the evening.
I was actually gonna say, believe it or not, guys, actually, I am having quite some difficulty continuing to set up. Does anyone have any huge objections if we can go ahead and end the last blackmail, because that one wasn't involving Xavier anyway, and then kind of end the session there and pick this up next week?
I'm totally okay with that.
Right, perfecto. Because this isn't a bad place to end. That way you guys can talk more about what exactly you want from Prester Security and that kind of thing. So I'll switch over to Isaac real quick. Isaac making shit. I just have this image of like Isaac like stripped down to the waist with a hammer. Dum, dum.
Probably listening to music as well.
Yeah. So Lucas and Anna, you have one last senator, Senator Grakkus, with the unknown picture. You arrive at their office, and there is no secretary, believe it or not. Senator Grakkus has an open door policy, which means that anyone from the street can march right up to his desk and lay their concerns before him. It is one of the things that makes him extremely popular among the populace.
That is so useful.
Lucas will warn, though, this, as he then tries to motion, goes like, this entire situation smells funny to me. Not in a good funny either.
You think he has more to hide than anything?
I think we're probably going to be dealing with things that are probably not going to be the most comfortable. Nor, even if we give this information to him, will we really have any particular leverage or any other reaction other than not the best. Let's keep our expectations very low. Let's keep our expectations that this is more harm than good, and approach it that way.
Do you want to be open about what we have immediately or warm up to it?
I think we should approach it of, we found this, we have no idea what it is. If it's important for you to not have it in anyone else's hands, we'll, it's yours, you can do with it what you want. It seems important to you, so here.
I'm cool with that.
That's it. Because honestly, we have no idea what this is. It is either one of two things in my mind, and neither one of them seem like just giving this to him will solve the particular resolution. It won't be good for us. I'm telling you, this smells bad.
So try and keep our hands out of it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Glad we got a plan.
Right. So, you can walk straight up to his desk. As you approach him, you see that he is an older wolfen, smaller in stature. Looks a bit like oh, hang on a second here. More like a fox than a wolf. He has reddish hair and fox-like features, though the red hair has started to gray. He's not taller than a human. He's a very small, slight frame build for a wolfen. And as you approach the desk, he looks up with very light brown eyes, and he says, "Well, welcome. I am Senator Grakkus. I have never met you before. How can I help you?"
Very quick question: is this a secure place to negotiate things? Not negotiate. Just say something probably private.
No, obviously not. I allow anyone from the streets to walk up here and talk to me. I can't imagine how secure that would be. If there is something you wish to speak about that is sensitive, we can move to other chambers, though I do ask that you be quick. I am very busy.
This shouldn't take long.
Lucas nods, two short, very fast nods, and then stands up.
As you wish. And he'll stand up and he'll motion to a fairly large person covered in armor. You can't really tell what race they are, other than they are humanoid and slight of frame, but fairly tall and covered in head to toe with armor. And he motions to you to follow him back further behind like sliding doors.
Okay.
And when you get past the sliding doors, you see that it's just a small, simple oval room that has basically like seats, like a couch built into the wall around it. So basically, it's a cushioned place to sit in a circle. And he motions to one of the couches, and he says, "You haven't told me your names yet." As he sits down.
Oh, yeah. No, Lucas. That's my name. He looks over to Anna.
Anna.
I see. Lucas. You look familiar. Oh, of course. You were involved with Senator Teal, that nasty business half a year ago. Someone was attempting to take her life, yes?
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, you heard about that? Yes. Well, this might make a bit more sense then.
I see.
As a adventurer of many different shoes, he then puts down like a nervous giggle. We have come across something. Like nudges Anna.
Through What's the word I'm looking for?
Circumstance?
Thank you. I was going to say circumcisions. That's something else. Through
Whoa.
circumstance.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Through the circumstances, we've got access to a photo that you were in. We have the only file of this photo. Here it is. She hands him the thumb drive with it on it.
He hesitates for a long moment and then takes the thumb drive almost with like a shaky hand. Not a hand shaking from nervousness. And he takes the thumb drive and he puts it into his personal computer and he looks at it. And he looks at it for a long time, then he closes it and closes his eyes. He goes, "Why would you give this to me?"
We know absolutely nothing about this. We assumed that it was taken by ill intent, mainly because of the money transfers that were attached to this.
We didn't do any research on the photo.
So you acquired this from people you believe were using it with ill intent, and you are, what, returning it to its rightful owner out of sense of what exactly?
Lucas stops for a second. Honestly, we just... Lucas actually has a fairly serious expression. I'm not particularly a person that likes to get... I don't like bad things happening. And of course, this is a bad situation. Trying to help, but we don't know how. This is the first step we're taking.
I see. I can't imagine what other steps you would need to take. This... It is as if someone took a dark cloud that was over my head and has removed it. He takes the thumb drive and, with no small amount of strength, literally crushes it in his hand.
Hopefully this will give us some good karma from the future.
I don't believe in karma. But I do take comfort in knowing that there are those out there interested in the well-being of others, even strangers. I don't know how I could even begin to pay you back, because you have no idea what you've done.
No, and we don't want to be honest.
I have no interest in telling you either.
To be honest, we do have some particular want, but this seems extraordinarily important to you, and I just want for you to
name it.
Our friend is actually in a lot of danger, and we are looking to help with funds and whatnot. If you have anyone that you can help motivate to lend a helping hand with that, to help our friend come back in one piece, in a very literal sense, we would love any help that we can get.
I see. So, funding would be helpful.
Well, from what I know, it can't be directly from you. There's some sort of sticky situation about can't have senators fund people in danger. I don't know what it's all about, but
we can't issue funds to official campaigns. Is this... Are you raising some funds officially?
Lucas will basically go through the GoFundMe thing.
Sure. He'll say, "Oh, I see." No, I can't officially fund such a thing, or nor can I push for such a thing to be funded. And quite honestly, I suppose there are people I could lean on, but that would be a disservice to them, and I rely upon their trust for me to use them for the betterment of Zeberon. What I can do is this. And he goes back to his personal computer, and he types something in. And then he pulls out a small credit card or a credit chip, and he gives it to you. Take this to any bank on Zeberon. It will be honored. It is a note by me for you to withdraw. One of you roll me, please. Actually, roll me 1d8.
If you want to do it, since I rolled the last one.
Okay. Come on, one. Damn it.
2.3 million.
One.
$7 million
$2.30.
clicks. He says 7 million clicks. I have no interest in telling you what you've just given back to me, but understand that the people who had this, who were holding it over my head, had everything over me. And you've given me back that. You've given me back, well, at least this. And he'll hand over the chip.
This won't be traced back to you.
Oh, anyone looking will be able to tell that I withdrew that money, but it won't be able to tell who I gave it to. And quite honestly, it is mine. It is my personal funding.
Yeah,
So
and
I can give it to whoever I wish.
He's giving a gift that has nothing to do with this campaign at all.
No, I'm giving... I don't know who this girl is, but I know that you did me something, a kindness. So I'm returning the favor. This is for you.
Thank you. And I'm going
He
to
knows.
assume that everything that just happened didn't happen.
He looks down at the crushed chip on the floor. And like for the first time, you see him smile. Wouldn't be able to prove it if you said tried.
Fair enough.
Good,
Is there
as
anything else?
Lucas stands up. Well, hi, we're in town. If you ever want to just say hello, and Lucas will like put down his golden phone number thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, his
Uh,
golden phone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did we buy a phone and paint it gold?
No, Lucas has a golden phone number that he gives out to.
Remember
a very
back
few
when
people.
we were saying that Lucas got whored out? That's what he got.
That's
one of the
his
things
whore
that I got.
phone.
If I remember correctly, this is the third person he's ever... Well, no, the second person. There is a person who he's called on it randomly.
I basically pressed in a random number. And it called
But
him.
if I remember correctly, this is only the second time you've ever actually given that number out.
Oh yeah, no, most people do not have that number.
Yeah.
Did you give it to drug guy or no?
No.
Okay.
Honestly,
this
I
is
was
that
gonna try
special
to get like a number from like Finn or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So with that, he'll ask if there's anything else, and if not, he'll bid you good evening.
God no.
Out of curiosity, I just want to do a surveillance system check in that room.
Sure. Go ahead.
I don't want to use it, but I can also see Anna
I
being
know.
like, I'm curious now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that passes.
No surveillance in the room.
Okay. Even better. Better for all of us.
Mm-hmm. All right. I did not expect you guys to do this.
Which one?
I was like, I was expecting you guys to try and blackmail them. This is very different than that.
Sometimes
Yeah,
we're
because
good.
we're trying to get like good stuff from
Yep,
them. Like
I
we're trying
understand.
to be friends with them.
I understand. No, I totally get it. It's a smart move, and you know, friends are better than enemies. You know, I totally get it. I just
Friendship forever.
This
So-
is not stranger danger.
So, yeah. So, due to some smart decisions, some more smart decisions, and some decent rolling,
And
you
some
guys
drugs.
are able to add another 13 million clicks to your fund. Technically, 7 of that is not to the fund so much as just you
We
have
just
7 million
have
clicks.
7 million
Yeah.
and can technically
Yeah.
do whatever we want with that.
How much
7
did the
is
bank
just
need?
ours.
Mhm.
How much did what
How much
need?
what?
How much did the bank need for us to keep that account?
5 mil?
Oh. Hang on. Let me find that for you.
If I recall correctly, it was 5.
Guys,
I have it somewhere.
I'm
Let's-
having people wait on me. Can I skedoot? Is that good?
Sure, buddy.
Alright, well,
Bye.
we're gonna end this here anyways, so...
Yeah. I will say goodbye to everyone. I gotta go and skedoot. See ya.
Alright.
Take care.
Bye.
We
I'll
can
go through
figure out
my
the stuff
notes.
out of session though. Let's end the session. So,
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for the audio stuff. I'll try and edit that stuff out. We will see you guys next week, Wednesday, again with 3 Galaxies, and don't forget to check out Riffs every Sunday. Ta-ta!
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.